based on numbers. Like we've occupied, that we are the empire state here. We've been living in the past 50 to 80 years. We've been living in a unipolar moment. Okay, that's just in world history. That's just where we find ourselves. We've awakened in this time. We have political consciousness in this moment where there has been a one world superpower for the past ever since the post World War II. Ever since the end of World War II, we have demonstrated unparalleled world supremacy.
Certainly since the Cold War.
Yeah, that's what I mean, post World War II, right. Cold War. Absolutely. So when you say terrorists, what you're talking about is resistance to terrorism. You're talking about resistance to occupation. We are occupying all of these lands. If we just got the fuck out of the Middle East, just take a look at a map. Look at a map, pull up the map of the military bases that are in the Middle East right now. They're ringing and dotting the entire region, okay?
This was Dr. Ron Paul's argument that woke up, I think, quite a few Republicans, because Republicans used to be all Bush doctrine. They used to be all, let's throw our weight around, let's fuck these countries up, all of this stuff. Ron Paul comes in and he drops a bomb that not a lot of people in America are ready to hear, which is they don't hate us for our freedom. Now, believe it or not, some of you who are younger than me won't believe this, but after 9/11, we were told we had to go to war with all these countries. And when we were asking, why did they knock the towers down? Why did they do this? Why did they do that? This was before anyone was asking questions about what the CIA knew, what the State Department knew, what Mossad knew, dancing Israelis, like all that stuff. This was just official story, 9/11. Why do they hate us? And the answer the Bush administration came up with was, well, and again, if you're 30 or under, you might not buy this, but they said, they hate us for our freedom. They said things like, they hate us because we can go to the mall. And in 2001, 2002, we bought it. Then in 2008, Ron Paul runs for president, and he tells people, they don't hate us for our freedom. They hate us because we're over there. They hate us because we have military bases in their holy lands. The American military has bases in the Middle East, and they're angry about it. They see it as an occupation. Now, you may not know this, and if you're a pro-Israel person, this might kind of help you understand the other side's argument. In international law, if you are an occupied people, anything you do to fight back against your occupier is justified. Any force you use against the occupying force is justified. Now, I don't know how far that extends. I don't think that means that you can go around just, shooting civilians and shit. But anything you do to the opposing country is not seen as an act of aggression. It's seen as a continuous act of self-defense, which I think is correct. So fighting back against America to a lot of these people is not seen as terrorism. It's seen as resistance to an occupation.
You can't find an analog in the Western Hemisphere of Middle Easterners or any other, culture or country that is posturing the same way in American. I
would say financially, Israel, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar. They're not as bad as we are militarily, but I would say the way they throw their business influence around and the way they throw their money around, I would say Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and Israel are kind of doing a soft colonization. But yeah, again, not as bad as America is.
Sphere of influence, okay?
Well, maybe like Minneapolis has a lot of Somalis, but it is different. It is.
Oh, that's the other thing. In this debate, Alex Stein is going to Alex Stein. You don't see the Muslims occupying, and he's like, maybe Minneapolis. Fuck you, Alex.
Different than what you're saying. Obviously, America is a much bigger occupier, so I agree with that. Like, we are the bullies that kind of start all this drama. But to your point, though,
I love how Alex is like so into the internet that even when he's talking like foreign policy, he's using words you'd use like for internet podcast beefs. Like he's like, I understand, in the rest of the world, we really are the people that cause all this drama. It's like, it's not drama, dude. It's war. You remember on December 7th, 1941, when the Japanese were just starting all that drama?
Islamophobia, this thing. Not all Muslims are bad, right? I mean,
of course not.
So here comes Misfit Patriot. This guy, I mean, He's the star of this clip, as far as I'm concerned, because this guy I didn't know these guys still existed. Like, this is a guy who's still swallowing the whole wafer from 9/11. This guy's still like a Bush doctrine dude. Like, any Muslim we bomb had it coming. Like, this guy is, really, it's like discovering dinosaur fossils, but it animates and starts moving around. That's Misfit Patriot. And when you see this guy, you're going to know why I hate him. He's this guy who kind of postures military. He gives off the vibe of like service. He's never served a day in his life. This guy, and the way he talks about war and bombing and what war is, fuck everybody who looks like this guy. He's the same kind of chicken hawk that you had with Cheney and Wolfowitz and Bush and all these guys. Lindsey Graham, same chicken hawk kind of attitude.
So when you label like every Muslim as a terrorist, I didn't
label every Muslim
I
as a
know,
terrorist.
and I'm not even trying to get on you. I just feel like that narrative, we've created that narrative, and that is kind of a propaganda war that every Muslim guy is trying to blow us up, which is obviously not true.
I think every Islamist is. Every Islamist is trying to, and the funny thing is, by the way, the answer to the question.
He's got a shirt on that says "fuck cancel culture." That's how you know this guy is down, dude. He's got a camo hat on. Look out. Look. There's a lot of these soft guys that grow beards, wear form-fitting T-shirts, and put on camo because underneath it all, they're soft as fuck. I mean, the tattoos, their whole aesthetic is psychological cope, essentially. This Misfit, it's awesome, though, because there's his spirit animal, just a little kitten. He gets in there and he goes, I think every Islamist does. Retard. Would you quit rehashing Hannity talking points from 2006? The fuck is an Islamist? Go ahead. What is it? Oh, it's someone who has a deep belief in the Quran and a literal interpretation. They all want to kill you. These are people that can't name a country where they live that doesn't have an American military base on it. There ain't no way they're killing anybody.
You is it's over 60,000. Over 60,000 terrorist attacks, according to the International Council for Terrorism, you're an appeal to authority.
Let's appeal to.
You don't get to go. Oh yeah, there's been 60,000. You don't get to pull the 60,000 number out of your asshole and then not remember the organization. You should be able to bring that shit up like that.
To authority on the UN, so I might as well bring up those stats.
Yeah. So what is it? The International Council for Terrorism? What is that?
I can't remember the name of it. I think it's the International Terrorism Council.
How convenient.
Or something like that.
Hold on, the International. Let's look it up. No. Hold on. Tim Pool's got like 19 guys there working for him on this debate. International Council for Terrorism. Let's see. There is no single International Council for Terrorism. Okay. How about, what's the other one he said? International Terrorism Council. We'll switch up his wording a little bit here. The Counterterrorism Committee is a subsidiary body of the UN Security Council. Oh, you'll also find out this guy hates the UN, so that's not it. Oh, shit. You know what I just realized? We haven't said goodbye to YouTube yet. I'm sorry. We got to get to some of these links and stuff. I'm sorry, YouTube. I'm going to get out of here. I apologize. Whoopsie daisy. I got a little ahead of myself there. Oh, Silverwolf with a couple $20 drops as well. Holy shit. We got links coming in. All right. I'll get through this here real quick. This Misfit Patriot guy, because you're going to fucking hate this dude.
But it's the main site that documents terrorist events.
Yeah, funded by the State Department.
So what's the UN funded by? Exactly. Shut up.
The UN.
So now hold on.
I'm sorry. The UN is funded by the United States.
Over 60,000 documented.
And the UN is actually the institution.
I love how he's like, excuse me, what are you going to say? The UN? It's better than the place you invented that doesn't exist. He goes 60,000 terrorist attacks. What ass are you pulling that out of? That would be the International Council for Terrorism. That's not a thing. What else you got? The International Terrorism Council. Yeah, that's not a thing either. What are you going to say, the UN? At least the UN's real. At least the UN exists.
That I'm citing, which is funded by and even they confer.
Hold on.
Let's take turns.
You think every single one of these instances, over 60,000 over the past 50 years that have been documented, whether you agree with the numbers or not, you think all of those are resistance, but what Israel is doing
Nobody
right
said
now,
that.
after we watched on Telegram what happened on October 7th, is not resistance. Do you see the problem in your logic?
I see the problem in your logic and not understanding that Israel, according to the world consensus, is the belligerent occupier ever since 1967 formally.
Yes.
So,
the international community recognizes that Israel has been occupying the West Bank and Gaza Strip since 1967. And by international law, what the Palestinian people do to resist that occupation, you are not seen as the belligerent party. It can still be a bad thing to do. It can still be, you can still, like, killing civilians is still frowned upon, but you're not looked at as the aggressor. What this Misfit Patriot dildo's trying to say is that, the Palestinians are the aggressors in this thing with Israel. Like, what? Are you out of your fucking mind? And then he's like, well, see, we saw it on October 7th. Oh, October 7th. So we can just flatten every hospital and every school in Gaza because October 7th happened, which, by the way, Mossad knew about and allowed to happen. So who's ever going to hold them accountable?
20 years, 2 decades before the creation of Hamas, there was the acquisition of territory that Israel occupied, subsequently settled.
Global terrorism database, by the way.
And that's...
Oh, there we go. Global terrorism database. All right. Let's real quick. Who runs global terrorism database? If it's a Jewish guy, I'm going to laugh so hard. Is run by the National Consortium for the Study of Terrorism and Responses to Terrorism, a research center at the University of Maryland. It's responsible for the collection, maintenance, and dissemination of the GTD, which is an open source database of terrorist attacks worldwide. So this guy went and found something from Maryland that backs up what he believes, and he just stopped right there. The good old I'mRight.com.
That's 2 decades before the...
Well, I definitely, it's nice to see a conservative guy who's against cancel culture cite the American university system as his source for dependability. That's good. That's great. That's what I mean. Like, these guys are all an outfit. These guys are all a baseball cap. These guys are all skin deep. Not this guy. This Rathbone guy seems fine. But Misfit Patriot, like the cosplaying as like he wants to give off the vibe that he's like a soldier. It's like, motherfucker, you got anywhere near a war zone, you'd shit your pants. Me too. But I'm not sitting here going, bum them all, fuck them, ride or die.
Creation of Hamas. Okay. So you have to ask yourself, and I know this is hard for you to have self-reflection, but
that's a good one. I bet you this guy quotes the Punisher when he's making military statements. He's like, "You pacus parabellum." Shut up.
In the 20 years since the War of Acquisition in 1967, 1987, what was going on? What was Israel doing that would have led to Palestinians feeling as though we need to engage in armed resistance against this occupying army, against this occupying force? It's concluded by every relevant authority in this matter, okay, that Israel has imposed an illegal blockade and siege of the Gaza Strip. They
won't let them have like flour and cookies because they think it can be made into bombs. These people are evil.
Have starved
you keep saying starved, right?
Yes.
Why would Israel have
Well, okay, I'm sorry. I won't say starved. In order to go to the place where the food aid is, they have to play a game called hopscotch with bullets. You're right, Misfit Patriot. They're not being starved. It's just that to go to a food distribution site, they have to worry about the IDF mowing them and their children down. So, yeah.
to feed them?
Because they're an occupying army, and the laws of belligerent occupation require that if you
But they're
take,
not occupying.
listen,
Yeah, but there is an asymmetrical power struggle where Israel has power, so they are responsible.
yes,
fucking hope so.
The law of belligerent occupation, administered by the International Committee for the Red Cross, tells us what this
that
means.
State Department
the
funded?
right? No, it's not. It's an international institution, and again.
I mean, he could dig down to an ACC school until he finds the one that gives him the numbers he wants, if you'd like.
You know, you can laugh, but this is, we're talking about universal humanitarian laws. And if you are a belligerent occupier under universal humanitarian laws, you have the rights of occupation, okay? You have rights as a belligerent occupier, but you also incur responsibilities, and Israel defaults on those responsibilities.
I just want to point out that the U.S.
All right, and then the Tim Pool's people get involved. But like this Misfit Patriot was in there. I was able to listen to about an hour of this, and I came out of it retarded. But this Misfit Patriot guy is talking about like, yeah, Israel should be allowed to go in there and bomb the whole fucking place and take them all out. Like he's playing G.I. Joes with geopolitics. The guy's a fucking retard. And I'm listening to this and I just had to Google it. I'm going, did this guy serve in the military? Because he's talking like a guy who's like, yeah, me and my brothers ought to roll in there and take them out. And I'm looking it up and he's just some soft Mexican. He's just some soft Mexican dude who cosplays as like Robert O'Neill. He's a fucking dildo. And then somebody in the chat writes that Jesse PS did a whole episode on Misfit Patriot. So now I'm freaking the fuck out. Like I don't worry about 8 days in jail, but I worry about Jesse PS finding out that I talked about a guy that apparently he did a whole show on. So now I'm worried that I'm ripping off Pot Awful again. I remember when we found that Mr. Burgers guy, or Spurgers, or whatever his name was. I didn't know that Jesse PS had covered him, but Jesse got whipped up into a frenzy. Steel toe guy, he's ripping off Mr. Burgers. I hate steel toe, blah, blah, blah. And I think he kind of cooled down after a while because he realized that he was getting a little fucking crazy on the Mr. Spurgers thing. I had no idea. I saw Jesse PS as he fucked with like Mersh and Red Bar. But apparently I angered Mr. Powell Stroud over talking about Mr. Spurgers. And once we finally get over that and it can just go back to making fun of me and him and everybody else again, now all of a sudden I'm talking about this Misfit Patriot guy. Somebody in my chat goes, oh my God, Pod Awful did a whole show on him. Oh, great. Well, you know what? I was out of coleslaw anyway. So this all kind of works out. Let's go ahead and see what you guys have. I know there were quite a few links that came in. We'll get to those. Wait, Miss Tay says Aaron Misfit Patriot is a trans man. That's a trans dude? Nice transition. Wait, no, that guy is no, you guys are fucking with me, right? That was born a woman. That was born a woman, and it's gonna sit here and be like, yeah, fucking America. Like he's like a conservative girl guy. Dude, you Republicans, like you just aren't conservative. We gotta find something, man, for like actual conservatives. Because this guy, I mean, to sit here and go, yeah, we love our trans people. We love our trans conservatives. It's like, do you people stand for anything, or will you just take recruits wherever you can get them? Jesus. Schmitty with $5. Thank you very much. Silverwolf with 20 and his Rumble Link Friday program. There we go. We'll play that a little bit later today. Let's take a look. We got Professor Tie-Dye with $1. Says several people outed Misfit Patriot as having a Grindr account, and Jesse PS put Misfit as being a female-to-male gay guy, as in cut off the tits and wants dicks in the poop chute. This is all real, not joking. Really? That would explain, because I always thought the eyeliner was fucking weird, The beard is not right. That would make sense if that was a chick at one point. Huh. All right. You know what? Interesting. $20 from Silverwolf. He says, we all say Aaron will be scared in jail, but have we considered this happening? Oh, boy. Oh,
when lockup visited.
Oh, no. Okay, there's that one. I'm just trying to get these all. In order because some people paid more than others for these clips, and I want to honor them, as it were. Thank you. Oh, God, I'm way behind in the chat. Brian says, I bet Chrissy loves the Misfit Patriot. I hope not. That would be a new level of low. So this person is a trans, huh? I had no idea. Maybe call Nick Fuentes. I don't know. Is Nick gay? Do we know if Nick's gay or is he just an asexual guy? I'm not sure. I am so far. Oh, my God. Jim Sharkey with $5 says the Ballad of Aaron Imholt. Well, that one's going to be funny. Power Windows with $5 says start at 33 seconds till like 3 minutes. Ooh. You giving orders? The only thing that gives orders is balls. Oh, man, we are continue. Oh, my God. I have been. Tim Finman with $5 via Venmo says, why did they hate us in the 1800s? We'll get to that one a little later. Jesus, the links are coming in hot and heavy on the toe this morning. Oh, MSO wants to know why no show last night. So October, I did mention this a couple of times, and I mentioned it on the morning show yesterday that I would be back today. So the way my kids' sports schedule is going, for September, I had to adjust the evening show schedule and go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's for my son's football, which ends this coming Monday. Next Thursday, my daughter starts volleyball. So I've got football Monday night. My son's got a game. And then volleyball Thursday night. And it will be Thursday night for the next couple of months. So we're going to go back to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But obviously with my son having football next week, Monday is going to be off. So we'll have Tuesday, Wednesday next week. And then it'll be back to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for the evening shows. I'm sorry. I apologize. But my responsibilities as a parent take priority over our evening show schedule. So I do have to fuck with the evening show schedule again. I can't even promise it's going to be the last time I fuck with the evening show schedule, but that's why there was no show last night. Scott Jonesy says, give the Jewish shit a day off, Aaron. For fuck's sake, there was a massive terror attack yesterday, and the all clear hasn't been given. There's armed police escorting kids to fucking school over here. I was shitting on Misfit Patriot over his shitty Israel-Palestine thing. What happened in the UK yesterday, we talked about it. We played the thing. That was fucking terrible. That was awful. But I really don't like that kind of talk where like, hey, 2 people were killed in Britain yesterday. Stop having any kind of sympathy, empathy, or support for these other people who are living under a genocidal occupation. I can walk and chew gum at the same time. What's happening to the people in the Gaza Strip is akin to the Polish ghettos. And just because 2 Jewish people got killed doesn't mean that Israel can't be held accountable. Just because Irina Zarutska was killed on that bus doesn't mean we stop criticizing American foreign policy. It doesn't mean we stop criticizing the Ukraine war, for example. So heart goes out to those Jewish people that lost their lives, but what's happening in Gaza is still a genocide and still awful and still terrible. Misfit Patriot is not transgender. This claim stems from a May 2025 episode of the Troll podcast Pod Awful. Okay, so How bad is it, though, that you guys told me Misfit Patriot was trans, and I looked at Misfit Patriot and went, yeah, I get it. No, I see it. That could be a trans. Oops.